Hi again. Very quick video on preparing for the driving test. Now, I was thinking about mock driving test about 10 minutes ago, and I thought I'll do a short video on it, have a quick chat about the pros and cons of it. So, you're preparing for your driving test and everything's going fine, but you don't really know what's going to happen on the driving test. You've heard stories about what people do. The best thing to do is speak to your instructor and just say, can we have a full mock driving test, 40 minutes long, start to finish, on a proper test route? Most instructors will know the test routes in the areas. They'll be quite happy to set you on one. And depending on how well you are, don't just say to them, I don't want the easy one, I want quite a tricky route. Expect the worst, you see, and that will prepare you better for your driving test. While you're on the mock driving test, there's going to be lots of periods where there's going to be the instructor saying nothing, where he's going to be assessing you. And that's what it's like on the driving test, where previously, when you're having your lessons, your instructor's saying you're doing fine, you're doing all right, keep it going, check them mirrors, all this sort of stuff, where your instructor's prompting you or complimenting you on what you're doing right and talking about the bits you're doing wrong. On the driving test, that doesn't happen. The examiner's just going to sit back and just assess you. And if you get into a situation where you are struggling, then they might have to step in and help you, but you've got to remember that they're there to assess you, not to help you. You can ask for confirmations, you know, and that sort of thing you can practice on your mock driving test with your instructor. So if you're doing independent driving and it's asked you to follow, just say signs for, because I'm in Milton Keynes, following signs to Central Milton Keynes, and you forget, or you're thinking, am I still following the signs for that? You can say to them, am I still following signs for Central Milton Keynes? And they'll say, yes you are, or no, we've updated it, we're following signs for Buckingham now. So you're not asking for help, you're asking for confirmation, slightly different. So that's something you need to think about, that'll help you. And they're going to be pulling you over a lot on the mock driving test and on the driving test too. They're going to pull you over to check that you're checking your mirrors, you're signalling if you need to, you're pulling over at a safe spot, and they're going to check that when you're moving off, you're checking round to make sure it's clear, and you're signalling again. So these are a good preparation. So if you get the chance, do a mock driving test with your instructor. At the end of it, he'll write down a list of the bits that was great and the bits you need to improve on, and that gives you something to work on leading up to your driving test also. It's a motivation thing, because if you do okay or you do a silly mistake, you can look at it and say, well, actually, I've done all right for 40 minutes, but the last 2 minutes of the driving test, I made some silly errors. So I need to work on my stamina a bit, in which case you've got to say to yourself, do I need an hour before the driving test or half an hour? So I'll tell you what's a good video to look at. Look at driving test day video I've got. I'll put a link above so you can look at that one at the same time. If you do like this video and you think it's going to help you prepare for it, do click like, share it if you want to, and subscribe. Take care, and if you've got your test coming up, best of luck, and when you do pass, safe driving.